Good morning, ladies. I have a mega prep day for you today. I am preparing not just for the weekly Sabbath, but for our Passover home seder, which is going to be tonight, and for Passover tomorrow night with our congregation. I am super duper excited. List here to help keep me straight with all the things that I need to do today, but it's really not a lot. And part of the reason why is because I don't have to do much cleaning today, kind of just make sure the bathrooms are tidy, but for the most part, it's just all the fun stuff that I get to do today. Prepare the food, decorate the tables. Today, I'm gonna bring you along with me as I do all of my prep for Passover and Sabbath. I'll give you a flip through of my Passover Haggadah, which thank you to all of you that have bought it from my Etsy shop. It's a blessing to my family, and I pray that it will be a blessing to yours as well. So let's not delay. Let's get into this Shabbat and Passover prep. I pray that all of you have a peaceful prep day and a meaningful and rich Pesach and Feast of Unleavened Bread and Sabbath. Comment below and let me know what your plans are for God's appointed times this week. I'd love to hear from you. And let's start with preparing our meals for Sabbath tomorrow. We're going to start with making some egg and onion for Shabbat breakfast tomorrow. I'm just going to saute these onions so they're kind of caramelized. And then I boiled some eggs this morning and I'm going to peel them. We're gonna put this in the refrigerator for tomorrow morning's breakfast, and then this is actually lunch for tomorrow. It's a fajita soup that I froze, and so I took it out to dethaw, and I'll pop that in the Instant Pot this evening, and I'll bring that to our Shabbat fellowship for lunch tomorrow. And with that, I have my Shabbat breakfast and Shabbat lunch prepped, except for my Matzah quesadilla. I'm gonna make that when I make the batch of Matzah for tonight. And I don't have Havdalah dinner prepped because we're actually gonna be with our congregation for a congregational Passover seder tomorrow night. So I'm just gonna bring some leftover grilled sheep from our dinner tonight to tomorrow night's dinner, and then I'm going to bring a dish of roasted vegetables, the same as I'm making for tonight. So I'll just wait until later when I'm making our dinner for tonight to prepare the dinner for tomorrow night. So let's look at my list here, what I have next to do. We're going to grab out Shabbat clothes for tomorrow, lay those out. There we go. I like to just put them in my closet or lay them out in my room so that I know where they're at and I know that they are clean and not being tried on and thrown on the ground and things like that. You need to go grab pants, leggings, socks, all that good stuff. Got some crayons for the kids to color their Passover Haggadah with, and so I'm just going to put those into some glass cups to make it a little bit more fancy on the table. So here are some different things I'm going to be working with to decorate the tables. We've got our crowns and nice jars. We've got a table runner. Picked up these things from the Dollar Tree. Some blue candles. Just kind of reminds me of like Moses in the basket. Some green straws for the kids and a little container to hold the leaven that we find in the house. Some pretty roses. Flashlights for searching out the haMatzot, some candles to light to set the day apart. I'm going to be putting grapes like draped over inside of these little things I got from the Dollar Tree. I think that will look very beautiful. Of course, it'll be more full than that. And the grapes aren't just to look pretty, but they're also going to be for the children to snack on, along with some matzah, and maybe they might even prefer to eat some of the mint during our Passover seder. And then for our bitter herbs, I have parsley, mint, and some lettuce so that people can choose. I don't know if I'm gonna like make a chutney type thing or something. I think I'm just gonna have it green and we can eat it with our matzah. And then do you know what these are? These are green onions. They're for the kids to whip each other when we talk about the Egyptians afflicting the children of Israel. So just kind of a fun interactive element. This is what I've got going on, and I will show it to you on the tables when I get it done. We have one more table that's gonna be coming with a friend so we can fit everyone, but we are really excited about celebrating the Passover tonight, and I'm going to try to get some footage to show you after the fact. But since we do have friends coming, I want to respect their privacy, not get any of them or their children in any pictures or footage. And I also want to be there and celebrate myself and not be behind a camera the whole time. So we'll see what I can get and what I can share with you, but I am so excited! The kids are going to be journeying from Egypt, which is on one part of the kitchen, through the kitchen, looking for leavened bread, and coming to the other end to Mount Sinai, the mountain of God. Look at my humble illustrations, but you know what? Kids will love it. We don't have to have like super fancy things and have everything perfect for our kids to enjoy their Passover experience. So yeah, not a great drawer, but the kids will get the point, and it's just something fun and different, and it's going to set this day apart. As I went through my Haggadah, I wrote down the reading parts and the materials that we need. We have a leader, a candle lighter, a youngest reader, and 4 adult readers, which if you don't have this many readers, you can just divvy up the reading parts to whoever is willing to read. Even a leader could do all of the reading parts if you preferred. And then for the materials, most of these are optional. I have crayons for the kids to color the coloring pictures within the Haggadah, flashlights for them to search out the leaven pieces if it's not already into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We're going to hide leaven pieces for the kids to find and then come in exchange for a matzah treat. And then we have candles that we love to light for all of God's appointed times to just set it apart and have a fancy candlelight dinner. The 3 seder elements, the lamb shank bone, the bitter herbs, the matzah, and grape juice, which is all part of the Passover example that Yeshua gave for us. And then we have the cutout leaven of the heart scenarios, which we're doing 2 leaven searches. One which is, actually looking for pieces of bread, and the other one which is looking for sin in the heart and trying to show our children what sin actually is and what it looks like in our lives, because it isn't always just blatantly obvious that this is sin. So if you bought my Haggadah, then you actually got these instructions and the scenarios that I wrote. Completely up to you whether you do these activities or not, and if you use my scenarios or if you write your own. But I need to cut out these different scenarios and then tape them to the bottom of the plates. I really wanted these leaven of the heart scenarios to not be just like cut and dry, but to require some discussion among us and hopefully use scripture to provide evidence for why it is leaven of the heart or why it isn't maybe. While I have the plates out, I'm going to write on a plate and a cup that this belongs to Elijah, because we are looking for Elijah to come and announce that Messiah Yeshua is returning. I didn't think about it until just now, but it would have been really cool if I had thought to decorate these or to have the kids decorate these as rods, because in my children's haMatzot search, they are going to run and put on their shoes, grab their staff, which is their flashlight, and journey from Egypt to Mount Sinai. And along the way, they're going to be searching for any haMatzot, because the scriptures say that the children of Israel had their shoes on, their staffs in their hand, and they ate the Passover in haste because God was going to deliver them out of Egypt in haste, and there would be no time for the red dough to rise, and so that's why they would be eating unleavened bread. And I just wanted to make that connection with my kids. So I wish I had decorated these as rods or had little rectangular pieces taped on here for the kids to decorate as rods. If I had a baby doll or something like that, I would also have that with a basket with a blue cloth for the kids to be able to play baby Moses in the basket. But our house is pretty much packed up right now. I mean, you can kind of see if you look in here in the living room. It is very empty in our house because we're moving. So I don't have everything that I would normally have for the kids. But I really want to set kind of like this Egyptian flair type table with the water and the reeds. And I wish I had my frogs that I could put on the table and different things like that to just kind of set the scene for being in Egypt. And we are leaving Egypt. We are being redeemed from Egypt, and make it just really tangible to the kids. Gotta get a bag for the kitty litter. Don't worry, I won't be taking you with me as I clean out the kitty litter box and clean up the mudroom. So I'm super excited about preparing for Passover and Sabbath today, but now I'm starting to feel a bit nervous because we have a showing in 1 hour. People are gonna come look at our house. We've already had one offer, over $20,000 our asking price, and we have showings for Monday, and so we're just gonna basically choose the best offers that come in. But now I'm kind of feeling really nervous and feeling like down to the wire. This is why I write down things like, you know, I need to set the table with plates and forks and napkins and cups. Even though I should know that, just having it written down in those moments where I am at peace with myself helps me later when my mind is all scattered and I'm feeling all the emotions and the nervousness and stuff like that. And I just wanted to mention real quick on this note, you know, I'm feeling kind of really nervous. My heart is pounding about the showing that's coming because I'm not just preparing now for the appointed times and Sabbath, I'm preparing for a showing as well. And it just kind of brings me back to those days when I was feeling really nervous about the appointed times. And sometimes I still do feel nervous, you know, depending on what's going on. Last year, we hosted a bunch of people at our property for Sukkot. They came and camped in our field, and it was so much fun. And I cooked for like 50 people for 3 meals and all this type of stuff. And I had a little bit of nervousness there because I was doing something new, something that I haven't done before. And I want to encourage you, you are learning God's culture. You're learning what His commandments are, and as wonderful and as exciting and as meaningful as they are, it's new. We haven't done it before. This is not how we grew up. And so we're learning it. And there's so much meaning to God's appointed times, and we just want to grasp it all at our very first go. But what I have found is that through the years, I learned. So you can take that expectation off your shoulders that you just have to do it all and understand it all and know it all and make it wonderful. It's going to take some time to learn God's culture. It's going to take some time to understand more and more what these appointed times mean. It's going to take you some time to develop homemaking routines and systems that will allow for a smoother running go into Sabbath or go into one of these appointed times. So yes, it can be normal to feel nervous and overwhelmed as you're preparing for the appointed times, but guys, we are learning God's culture. He has made us a new creature, and now He's bringing us on this walk of sanctification. So be encouraged to trust Yahweh. Be encouraged to allow Him to lead you from year to year. This is a lifelong walk with Him. The Lord, He does grow us in Him from year to year. And His commandment truly is easy and light and wonderful. And whether we have grand plans or whether we have simple plans, as long as we are obeying the Lord with what He has commanded, we are going to have a fantastic experience meeting with Him. That's what these days are all about. They are about meeting with Him. So whether we have decorations on the table, whether we have fancy foods or not, have we met with the Lord? And if we have met with the Lord, then we have fulfilled this holy day, and it's been a good day. Whether our expectations were met or not, it's been a good day. And from year to year, the Lord's going to grow us in Him. He's going to show us more. He's going to lead us and guide us in His culture more, and we're going to start to personalize that to our own families and to our own situations in life. So I hope you're encouraged in this. If you're feeling nervous and overwhelmed, yes, that's normal, but we are learning God's culture. It's something new, and we can trust that God is going to grow us from year to year. So now I am going to get back to preparing for the showing and the Passover. For the Passover, I really just have to finish the roasted vegetables and make the matzah, and my husband is grilling our sheep sheep, so I'll take you out there real quick and show you what that looks like. This is our grilled sheep that we are eating for Passover this year. I'm actually curious because I'm doing some mint as a bitter herb, so I'm actually curious how my herb spiral is doing, if I have any mint coming up. I might have chickens following me here in a second. Let's see if I have any mint coming up. I doubt that I do, or you know, not enough at least. Let's see. Yeah, so see, it's pretty much all dead, but if we pull back, yep, you can see just a little bit here and there. Man, this thing is a monster though in season. It's just, I mean, it's huge and it fills the whole area, but yeah, definitely coming back, but not enough yet to share tonight. These chickens, they're so funny. This is what we are looking like so far on the tables, and I still have one more table that's going to be coming at the end here. And of course I'm going to be adding in the grapes along here. This is going to be for gathering in all the haMatzot that we find. Here's Elijah's plate and his cup. Now it's time to set out these leaven of the heart plates. I don't know who's going to sit in these seats, so it's not saying anything about the people who sit in them, but we'll put those there and people will sit unknowingly in a seat with leaven. I've added these green onions to the table for the kids to whip each other when we get to the part about the Israelites being afflicted in Egypt. It's just going to be something fun and add some greenery to the tables. Just going to go grab some diapers and put those in the backpack, and then we are completely ready for Shabbat. I just have matzah left to make and one table more to decorate once it comes, and we're ready to get started. It's 4 o'clock. Our seder starts at 5, and we had a showing too in the middle of all that, so thank you, Lord. Now it's time to make some matzah. I have my cast iron skillet. It's preheating over here because you want those nice and hot. I try to make my matzah as fast as I can, just as a reminder that it should be unleavened. I personally don't think that it's going to get leavened in 30 minutes that it takes to make it, but I try to just make it as quickly as possible. Let me show you our seder plate real quick. I'm working on it. The matzah's not there yet because I'm about to make it. But here it is. We have 3 different bitter herb options: mint, lettuce, and parsley, and then the lamb shank bone. And right here will go the matzah. This is, of course, just like the ceremonial type matzah that we all take during the retelling of the Passover story. Because believe me, I'm going to make a lot more matzah than will fit in that small little corner for our actual dinner. I love matzah. I've heard some people say they don't like matzah. Make it homemade. You might change your mind. I love it. I think it tastes great. Our first guest arrived, so I am going to just get the grapes on the table, set out everything, and we are good to celebrate the Passover. I hope that all of you have a wonderful Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread. Thank you for joining me for prep today. Blessings, and until next time, I pray that Yahweh would bless you and keep you. Bye-bye. Give you a flip through of my family's Passover Haggadah that we're using this year. I wrote this with my children in mind because scripture says that when your child asks you what this memorial means, then you shall tell them. And so telling the Passover story is really about passing it on from generation to generation. And I want my retelling to be accessible to my children, understood by my children. My oldest is 6 years old, and then I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. I want them to walk away from this seder knowing what the Passover is all about. And I also wrote this with Messiah in mind and him as the focus, because I want them to know who their Messiah is and why he died for us and how he redeems us.
you.